All right, y'all. So Tom Homan was tapped by Donald Trump to return as border czar for his campaign. Before we begin today's video, be sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Turn on post notifications so you're notified whenever I post a new video. Follow me on my social media. We're on the road to 100,000 subscribers because we can do all things through Christ who strengthens us. Amen. So we're going to go ahead and get straight into this video. This is a Fox News pretty much updating about Tom Homan. If you don't know Tom Homan, this man does not play games when it comes to immigration policy. He just doesn't. We're going to go ahead and get straight into this video.
To take shape because overnight while you were sleeping, he tapped Tom Homan to be his border czar.
Trump saying, quote, "There is nobody better at policing and controlling our borders." Likewise, Tom Homan will be in charge of all deportation of illegal aliens back to their country of origin.
He worked with the president to come up with this job description, so let's hear from him. In his first interview after the major announcement, incoming border czar, Tom Homan. Tom, congratulations to you. It's bad for us. We lose you as a contributor. What went into the decision and the position?
Well, look, I've been on this network 4 years complaining about what this administration did to this border. I've been yelling and screaming about it, telling them what they need to do to fix it. So when the president asked me, would you come back and fix it? Of course I have to. I'd be a hypocrite if I didn't. So, look, I'm honored the president asked me to come back and help solve this national security crisis. So I'm looking forward to it. And look, I love Fox. I love the family there. But I think that the calling is clear. I got to go back and help because every morning I get up. Every morning I'm pissed off about what this administration did to the most secure border in my lifetime. So I'm going to go back and do what I can to fix it.
So, Tom, let's talk about the job because you're not an amateur. You've been doing this for years. You're a beat cop. Also, you worked the border before, went over to ICE. You've done it all. What does the process look like? Because I think some people get the impression that you're shooting from your hip, but you know what you're doing here, right?
I know exactly what I'm doing. And look, this is the second time I came out of retirement for this president, and because it matters. And look, I was a border patrol agent. I wore that uniform, and I'm proud that I wore that uniform. So, and I was an ICE agent. I was the first ICE director that actually came up through the ranks. So the 20,000 men and women that worked for me, I didn't ask them to do anything. I did do myself, because I was one of them. So look, I know the border, and I know there's a lot of great patriots. Look, I shut my phone off Friday night because I couldn't handle the phone calls, the texts, and emails from thousands of ICE agents and border patrol agents excited about the rumor I'm coming back. But more importantly that, thousands of retired agents, retired border patrol agents, retired military that want to come in and volunteer to help this president secure the border and do this deportation operation. So I've been off the grid for 3 days just because I couldn't handle all the phone calls, and plus all the death threats rolling in. My family's not at home right now because that's starting. But that's something we're going to do. They're not going to bully me away. They're not going to shut me up. They're not going to make me go away. This is the biggest national security vulnerability this nation has seen since 9/11. We have to fix it.
And it's one of the reasons Kamala Harris lost and Donald Trump won. So Tom, you just mentioned deportation.
I will say this. Trump is not playing when it comes to immigration. He's not playing when it comes to the border. I do believe that when it came to under Biden's administration, there was obviously that we can all agree on when it comes to the statistics, an influx of immigrants coming in, not through the border process. But I also think that influx was enabled by the Biden administration. However, I also do believe that because our process takes so long, people are willing to go through ups and downs, hell and back for better opportunity. I do think that him coming in is really going to help Donald Trump's agenda because from what I know of him, he just does not play around when it comes to certain things, especially with the hearing that he had with AOC. And then also a lot of things that he says comes from a reasonable standpoint. I just don't want us to get to the position to where we're just like, okay, everyone go back to where they come from, but not really fixing the process of how they can come back legally. The root of the issue, in my opinion, is like it should not take up to 10 years for someone to gain citizenship. It should be a better flow, a better process in which they can obtain legally their citizenship. And I think that's something that we also need to focus on because we can just, it's so easy to say, okay, you're deported. Okay, so now what? Now what? Because we can't act blind as if having immigrants, it helps our economy and it helps us when it comes to America being this melting pot. It really does elevate us. It's just more so how can we get them in through this legal way to where they don't feel like they have to risk their lives getting here.
I know during the last Trump administration, when you were there, They did have the large-scale worksite, essentially raids, where they would go into a place and there would be hundreds of people who were in the country illegally. I know on 60 Minutes a couple of weeks ago you said that those would continue under Donald Trump in the next administration. What do you have planned? Well, I know you don't want to give away the whole game book, but you do have deportations, mass workplace stuff planned, any other kind of category of deportations of interest?
Look, as the president said on stage many times, which I agree with 100%, it's going to be the same it was during his first administration, which is just a hell of a lot more of them because 10 million people have entered this country illegally under the Biden administration, or they actually let into this country, even though it's violation of federal law, what they've been doing, the abuse of the parole authority. But look, I've been clear, President Trump's been clear. Public safety threat.
I feel like there's a level of carelessness that happened under the Biden administration because the amount of people that just came in was very alarming to where a lot of people were raising questions, and so much so was like a lot of people were raising questions as if like, okay, this may be intentional, because usually about 2.2 million will come in and so forth. 2.2 sounds like a lot, but when you think about like how big this country is, it's really like an average, like around 2.2, 2.3, 2.4 came in under Trump. Same thing with Barack Obama, but that number quadrupled under VP Harris and Biden's administration. It's like some ain't right.
And national security threats will be the priority because they have to be. They pose the most danger to this country. So we're going to prioritize those groups, those who always have final orders, those that had due process at great taxpayer expense, and the federal judge says you must go home, and they didn't. They became a fugitive. So, and as far as worksite operations have to happen. Here's why, Steve. Where do we find most victims of sex trafficking and forced labor trafficking? At work sites. And the Biden administration shut down work sites. On one point, we said we care about sex trafficking and human trafficking. Then they shut down work site enforcement, which is one of the main areas we find the victims of this. I want to add one more thing, another priority. This administration has lost over 300,000 children that were smuggled in this country by criminal cartels they can't find. That's another priority. We need to save these children because some of these children are in forced labor, some of these children are in sex trafficking.
I don't care what side you're on. He right there, specifically with the sex trafficking portion and the amount of children that were lost under the Biden administration, VP Harris administration, not even VP Harris administration, Biden and VP Harris administration, that I don't care if you're a Republican or a Democrat, that needs to be acknowledged. That needs to be acknowledged. Like, I don't think people understand the risk when it comes to just open entry. And you want to help people so bad, but you have to understand you have to do it in a specific way to prevent certain things. Sex trafficking is at an all-time high. Children are the #1 victims when it comes to these things. And the fact that that was being ignored during Biden and VP Harris's administration because you want people to be able to come to this country so much, is like, yes, I agree that people should have the right and the will to go through this country. They shouldn't have to wait 5 years, 10 years for citizenship, and they shouldn't be put in a position to where they have to risk their lives to go through these ups and downs, obstacles just to get in this country. But we have to understand and take a step back. At what expense are we willing to alleviate or take away a solid process of that happening for increase in sex trafficking, increase in child victimhood, you have to look at the full scope of things. And this is where facts and feelings have to be separated. This is why I say that I truly, truly believe the root of the issue is more so how the process it takes for someone to become a citizenship here in the United States. You can deport all day, every day, but if we don't actually fix the process, this is going to be an ongoing cycle. Because if the Democrats were to win the election 4 years from now, it's just going to reverse. So the real problem is, like, let's get to the nitty gritty. Why is it taking it so long? Why does it take so long for someone to become a citizen here in the United States? I will say, I do think Tom Homan coming in he's going to shake things up. He's going to shake things up, and that's an understatement. Just from what I know of him, he just does not play around when it comes to things like this. This is his expertise, for goodness sake. You know, your thoughts on the comments down below. Do you think that the focus should merely be put on the deportation, or do you feel as if, okay, there's a process in this that is lacking? There's a fundamental issue within the process that needs to be addressed as well. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Turn on post notifications so you're notified whenever I post a new video. Follow me on my social media. We're on the road to 100,000 subscribers. Love y'all all. God bless y'all. This is Udo, connecting people with policy. Toodles.